Once upon a time, in the cold winter of 1643, a fragile child was born in a small English village called Woolsthorpe. He was born premature, so tiny that the midwife whispered, "He won't survive the night." But the child lived. Survival. His name was Isaac, and his first triumph was simply. Isaac's world was cold in more ways than one. His father had died before he was born. He was strange, quiet, always staring through windows. While others played, he observed dust floating in sunbeams, rain sliding down glass, and the way light danced in water. His mother remarried and left him in the care of his grandmother. A lonely child, without a father's embrace or a mother's voice to lull him to sleep. But instead of breaking him, the solitude built him. Loneliness became his companion, silence, his comfort. The sky, the trees, the wind his first teachers. At school, he wasn't popular. He began writing pages of notes and sketches. One day, a schoolmate mocked and pushed him. Isaac didn't fight back with fists, but fate intervened. In 1665, the Great Plague struck England. The university closed. Everyone fled. He fought back with knowledge. He swore to himself, "I will defeat them not with strength, but with the mind." He joined Cambridge University, and for the first time, he tasted true science. Isaac returned to Woolsthorpe. But instead of seeing this as a pause, he saw it as his moment. 2 years of complete isolation followed what historians now call Newton's Annus Mirabilis, the year of miracles. In that small countryside home, Isaac laid the groundwork for calculus, the theory of gravity, the laws of motion, optics, and the nature of light. He was only 23 years old. And then came the apple. One quiet afternoon, he sat under an apple tree. A fruit fell. Anyone else would have ignored it. But Isaac asked, "Why does it fall downward? Why not sideways or up? What holds it to the earth?" This moment became legend, and from that one question, Newton began crafting a law that would explain the movement of the heavens. Back at Cambridge, he presented his ideas. But the scholars laughed, calculating, testing, writing. "You're confusing philosophy with fantasy," they told him. He didn't argue. He simply worked harder. "Truth doesn't need defenders," he whispered. "It only needs time." Later, Newton became entangled in fierce battles with other scientists. He clashed with the German philosopher Leibniz over who invented calculus first. The fight was bitter and public, but behind the scenes, Newton kept going. In 1687, Newton published his masterpiece, Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica, the mathematical principles of natural philosophy. Inside were his 3 laws of motion and the universal law of gravitation, a system that could predict everything from a falling apple to the orbit of the planets. Einstein would later say, "Newton laid the foundation. We are only building upon it." He studied light, invented the reflecting telescope, and led the Royal Society. He saw the universe not as chaos, but as a grand machine designed with elegant, mathematical rules. In his final years, Newton was no longer just a scientist, he was a legend. Knighted as Sir Isaac Newton, he was the first scientist to be buried at Westminster Abbey, alongside kings and poets. But despite the fame, he remained humble. He once said, "I do not know what I may seem to the world, but to myself I have been only a child, playing on the seashore, while the great ocean of truth lay all undiscovered before me." Newton passed away in 1727 at the age of 84, but his light didn't fade. He left behind not just equations, but a new way to see the world. He showed us that asking the right question, like why, can shake the very stars.